Aditya, So we are in which verse, this chapter? 13th chapter.
Mataji, we have to start from 25th shlok of the 13th chapter.
13th chapter, right? 25th
Yes, Mataji,
shlok.
25th.
25th shlok. So the questions, answering the questions. What is Prakritim? What is Purushaha? What is Kshetra? What is Kshetrakyaha? What is Jnanam? What is Geyam? 6 questions were asked basically by Arjuna. So let us see. 13th chapter, 25th verse. ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिद् आत्मानमात्मना अन्ये साङ्ख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे. ध्यायेन आत्मनि, by meditation, atmani, within the self, pashyantihi, see, kechid, some, atmanam, the super soul, atmanaha, by the mind, anye, others, sankhyena, a philosophical discussion, yogena, by the yoga system, karma yogena, by activities without fruitive desires, cha, also, apare, others. So some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, and others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. So here about the Karma Yoga has been given, about Jnana Yoga has been given, the process, and the Dhyana Yoga. Karma Yoga means performing the activities without any desire for fruitive results. That is Karma Yoga. Yoga means connection to Krishna. Your activities are connected to Krishna. Jnana Yoga, your knowledge is connected to Krishna, cultivation of knowledge that is connected to Krishna. So through Jnana Yoga, trying to understand the difference between body and soul. Through Karma Yoga, again trying to understand the difference between body and soul and the controller of body and soul. The 3 aspects have to be understood. And some try to meditate on the super soul who is residing in everyone's heart. In this way, the Sankhya, see here what is given, Sankhyena Yogena Karma Yogena Chapari. Sankhya. Sankhya means understanding the basic difference between the body, soul, and the controller of body and soul. This Sankhya Yoga is understood by 3 processes, either by meditation or by cultivation of knowledge or by performing activities keeping Krishna in the center. So in this way, Dhyana Yoga has been given. Then cultivation of knowledge, Sankhya Yoga has been given, and also Karma Yoga has been given. Okay. So why we are speaking all this? Why all this topic is coming out? Because Krishna, in the previous verse, what he says, one who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, the interaction of the modes of material nature, he is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. So when the philosophy which shows the difference between all these 3 things, how the influence of material nature makes a living entity wander in this material world. This is actually the influence of the material nature. 3 modes of material nature influences our activities, influences our taste, our desires, our activities, our whole existence. So though the living entity is beyond the 3 modes of material nature, it is the influence of the 3 modes. Sometimes too much of Sattva-guna, sometimes too much of Rajas, sometimes too much of Tamas. All these 3 things, anyhow, there is a permutation combination that has been given. Now Krishna in the 123rd verse, Krishna says, I am the one who is seer. Padrashtanumanta cha bhakta bhokta maheshwara paramatmiti chapyukta dehesmin purusha para. Why Krishna speaks this verse? Krishna says, all the activities are observed by me. I am the permitter. That means somebody is doing wrong. that permission is also given by Krishna only. Why? Because he wanted that. He desires that. So that is why the permission is given. That time Krishna is not jumping out of the body. He is there seeing everything. He is a seer. So who is seeing all? Today only we had done this verse. I think morning class, who attended the morning class today was the most important class. Chaitanya Bhagavat. I request all of you somehow try to find out or hear to the recording. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, very nicely it has been said that Yamaraj comes to have darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yamaraj is a great Vaishnava. Yamaraj is in complete ecstasy, seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. Yamaraj has 14 associates. One of the most principal associate is Chitragupta. Now Chitragupta has 1 lakh, you can say, kayasthas. Kayasthas means subservients. So 1 lakh subservients he has. And they keep the record of everyone. What you are doing, what I am doing, pious activity, impious activity, every record is kept. So Chitragupta is telling to Yamaraj, now what to do with so much of records what we have kept about these two, Jagai and Madai. Already their sins have been forgiven by Lord and the sinful reactions have been eradicated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of his most compassionate nature. The highest compassionate form of Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only forgave their sins. In many of the avatars, Krishna has forgiven the sins, delivered a person. But this deliverance of Jagai and Madai is something special. How it is special? He not only delivered, but made people, made society accept Jagai and Madai. Like Srila Prabhupada not only delivered the people, but made the whole world accept his disciples, who were actually drunkards in their previous karmas, who were doing all type of illicit activities. Just see, hippies became happies. So the compassionate mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not only forgiving the sins, and why he forgave those two sinners? Because they were not aparadhis. Very clearly, Chaitanya Bhagavat somehow make it sure that you hear Chaitanya Bhagavat. So beautiful. Today's verse was very beautiful. So aparadhis are not forgiven, but sinners are forgiven, whatever it is. So coming to this topic, who is looking at all our activities? It is Krishna's associates who are seeing all our activities, whether we are doing punya or we are doing papa, whatever. Upadrashta Anumanta. He gives all the permissions as per our desires. So what activities are not recorded in the Chitragupta's diary? The activity which keeps Krishna in the center and we are performing. Simple. Whatever activities our spiritual master is giving us, which comes in the line of disciplic succession, those activities, because it is going directly to Krishna, isn't it? Those activities are not recorded by Chitragupta. Like you're going to office. The purpose of going to office, ask to yourself. Purpose of cooking, ask to yourself. Purpose of sleeping, everything is an activity. Even sleep is also an activity. So if your consciousness is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, those activities are not recorded. So here, by Dhyana Yoga, by Jnana Yoga, by Karma Yoga, somehow perceive the super soul. That means understand there is a person who is observing us. Upadrashta Anumantaha, it is connecting verse, that is why. This verse is connected to Upadrashta Anumantaha, because we have to perceive the super soul. How will we perceive the super soul? Are we going to break our heart and then see where is the super soul? Krishna is observing our activities. Every activity is recorded by Krishna and his associates. And this work has been given to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj has allotted this work to his associates headed by Chitragupta. So three ways, meditation, Sankhya and Karma, Yoga, one can perceive the super soul within the heart. Mayur Prabhu, read.
ज्ञानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानम् आत्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे. Meaning, some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. Purport. The Lord informs Arjuna that the conditioned soul can be divided into two classes as far as man's search for self-realization is concerned. Those who are atheists, agnostics, and skeptics are beyond the sense of spiritual understanding. But there are others who are faithful in their understanding of spiritual life, and they are called introspective devotees, philosophers, and workers who have renounced fruitive results. Those who always try to establish the doctrine of monism are also counted among the atheists and agnostics. In other words, only the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are best situated in spiritual understanding because they understand that beyond the spiritual nature are the spiritual word and Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is expanded as Paramatma, the super soul in everyone, the all pervading Godhead. Of course, there are those who try to understand the supreme absolute truth by cultivation of knowledge, and they can be counted in the class of the faithful. The Sankhya philosophers analyze this material world into 24 elements, and they place the individual soul as 25th item. When they are able to understand the nature of individual soul to be transcendental to the material elements, they are able to understand also that above the individual soul there is supreme personality of Godhead. He is the 26th element. Thus, gradually, they also come to the standard of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Those who work without fruitive results are also perfect in their attitude. They are given a chance to advance to the platform of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Here it is stated that there are some people who are pure in consciousness and who try to find out the super soul by meditation. And when they discover the super soul within themselves, they become transcendentally situated. Similarly, there are others who also try to understand the supreme soul by cultivation of knowledge. And there are others who cultivate the Hatha Yoga systems and who try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by childish activities. Hare Krishna.
So this topic deals with how to understand the super soul. How to understand Krishna is observing us. This is a very subtle topic, isn't it? Krishna is there in everyone's heart, in your heart, in my heart. How to understand? These are the three ways. Either do meditation or perform Sankhya Yoga. That means understand the difference between body, soul, control of body and soul, or perform Karma Yoga. Perform your activity, give 100% result to Krishna. Sometimes we do some donation and we think we have done some big donation. We are using our money for our senses, isn't it? Are we using the fruitive results for Krishna's purpose? Ask to yourself. So then, if you are not doing that also, then at least what to do then? There is no other hope. Karma Yoga is the last hope. To understand that basic difference between body, soul, control of body and soul, these are the only three ways. Either sit and meditate or perform some tapasya, go and perform tapasya. But we don't want to do that also. We cannot do that much. Then do activities in such a way, 100% you are using the money in Krishna service. When you say everything, if I give in temple, then I have to sit on the roads, isn't it? Then what to do? Like you purchase something, you offer it to Krishna. Like you are purchasing some vegetables. Basically, why we are earning? to have good food, to have good shelter, to maintain our house. So why the house is there? So that I can chant very nicely. So maintenance of the house is also karma yoga, provided it is used for the right purpose. Maintenance of the family is also karma yoga, provided the whole family is serving Krishna. See, it is not that everything I have earned 1 lakh, and next day I'm giving the check of 1 lakh. That's over. So what I'll eat then? How will I maintain the family? You have to move in the society in a good way. You cannot be very shabby. So you're buying some dress. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of wearing good dress? So that you are presentable when you're talking to people. Isn't it? So Karma Yoga refers to keeping Krishna in the center and performing all the activities. Like you buy even a new cloth, you're offering to Krishna. But you are not using it for your senses. You are using it so that you are presentable when you talk to people. You have to move in the society. Naturally, you have to be dressed properly. Your house should be presentable when somebody comes inside. That is why you're keeping the house clean, getting it painted. So that when somebody comes, you can speak of Krishna. When you are also in the house, it is clean, neat, so that you can even chant. Your dhanam is not going, oh, this is dirty, that is dirty. So Karma Yoga is actually an extended thing. You should not think that, okay, Karma Yoga means give 100% result to Krishna. Yes, it is 100% result to Krishna in different ways. In different ways, 100% result to Krishna. There is no desire of any sense gratification in that 100% earning for Krishna. So this is a very important topic for a grasthas, because grasthas cannot go at the level of Gyanis, go and sit in some Himalayas and trying to understand, trying to be nude and putting just ash and trying to understand I'm not the body, I'm soul, and trying to perceive super soul within the heart. Impossible. There are certain things which is impossible for a grastha. He cannot leave the house. Then how to do? Use everything. Use your samarthya in Krishna's service. Anye tveva majanantah, anye tvevam majanantah, Shutyanyebhya pasate tepi chati tarantiva mutyam shruti parayana. Anye tvevam majanantah, Shutyanyebhya upasate tepi chati tarantiva mutyam shruti parayana. Anye, others. There are different ways to know Lord. Now, Anya, there are others who also want to do too, but evam thus, ajanantaha, without spiritual knowledge, shutva, by hearing, anyebhya, from others, upasate, begin to worship. Tede, api also, cha and atitaranti, transcend, eva, certainly, nrityam, the path of death, shruti parayanaha, inclined to the process of hearing. So others, what they do, they are not so conversant with spiritual knowledge, nor they have the capacity to perform dhyana or dhyana, nor they have that 100% inclination to give to Lord. They don't know. They don't know anything. They have zero knowledge in spirituality. But just by hearing process. What type of people come to our ISKCON? Those who are completely zero in spiritual knowledge, isn't it? They just come. They got khichdi prasad, they got prasad. They just okay, some basics we were knowing because we were born in Sri Vaishnava family. But if you see, practically people come for prasadam, some nice gift shop is there. Then somehow he comes and sits in the class. He hears. Then he gets attracted to that knowledge and slowly starts coming, taking up the process. Then Krishna says there is a hope for him also to transcend the materialistic life and go back to Godhead. Transcend birth and death cycle. The power of hearing has been given here. One is trying to endeavor with our own strength. That was the previous verse, 25th. 26, just by surrendering and hearing. This hearing is the most important aspect. Just by hearing, the person can go back home, back to God. So this has been given in the 26th verse. Goloka, read.
Hare Krishna. अन्वेत्वेवम् अजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चातितरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणः. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they do transcend the path of birth and death. Purport. This verse is particularly applicable to modern society because in modern society there is practically no education in spiritual matters. Some of the people may appear to be atheistic or agnostic or philosophical, but actually there is no knowledge of philosophy. As for the common man, if he is a good soul, then there is a chance for advancement by hearing. This hearing process is very important. Lord Chaitanya, who preached Krishna consciousness in the modern world, gave great stress on hearing because if the common man simply hears from authoritative sources, he can progress, especially according to Lord Chaitanya. If he hears the transcendental vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is stated, therefore, that all men should take advantage of hearing from realized souls and gradually become able to understand everything. The worship of the Supreme Lord will be then undoubtedly take place. Lord Chaitanya has said that in this age no one needs to change his position but only should give up the endeavor to understand the absolute truth by speculative reasoning. One should learn to become the servant of those who are in knowledge of the Supreme Lord. If one is fortunate enough to take shelter of a pure devotee, hear from him about self realization, and follow in his footsteps, one will be gradually elevated to the position of a pure devotee. In this verse, particularly, the process of hearing is strongly recommended, and this is very appropriate, although the common man is often not as capable as so called philosophers. Faithful hearing from an authoritative person will help one transcend this material existence and go back to Godhead, back to home. Hare Krishna.
So this is the verse taken from Ramandrai Samvad. Jnane prayasamudapasanamanti eva jivanti sanmukaritam भवदीय वार्तां स्थाने स्थितश्रुतिगतां तनुवान् मनोभिर्ये प्रायसे जितो जितोऽप्यसि त्रैस्त्रलोक्य. Most important verse, Ramananda Rai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Samvad. Actually, I to start hearing Chaitanya Bhagavad, Chaitanya Chaitamrit classes, very important classes. And Samvad, very clearly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is the goal of life? Ramananda Rai goes on answering, goal of life is just follow Chaturvarnyam, Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhasha. And in this way, try to please Lord. Then Sarvadharman Pariteja. So many things Chaitanya Ramananda was speaking. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told what you have to give. Everything is only bhaya. We say we are giving, Sarvadharman Pariteja. Sometimes they yat karoshi, dashnashi. So many answers were given. When everything is bhaya, that was the reply given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when it came to Jnane prayasam udapasanamanti, Brahmaji speaks this verse when he offers the prayers to Krishna after the Brahma Vimoha Leela. When he does the Prayashchitta, he offers this prayer. The prayer speaks about this. What knowledge are we going to gain? Jnane prayasam udapasanamanti eva. Even though Jnana Marga, it is like I am trying to give difficulty to my body. It is like beating the husk without the grain inside. You are beating the husk, there is no grain, it is only a futile attempt. Jnane prayasam udapasanamanti eva jivanti sanmukharitam. Jivanti san. If your life is dedicated to sanmukharitam means to a pure devotee. If your life is dedicated to the pure devotee, sthane sthita shruti-gatam, wherever you are, in whatever status of life you are a grahastha, you are a vanaprasthi, you are whatever you are, if you are hearing, if you have the habit of hearing, then understand one can very much progress and bind Krishna within the heart. Jito ajitopi yes trilokyam. He is ajitaha in the three lokaha, but you can conquer him just by hearing. Sometimes we hear to gain information. So every hearing is not at the level of dedication. Understand it very nicely. So there are so many who join different types of classes, they get knowledge. It's all okay. It is like gaining the knowledge. It's only this Gopal Krishna Gosai Maharaj spoke about this very nicely. Sometimes we say, oh, you are Shiksha Guru. Then somebody will say, you are Shiksha Guru. Then we say, no, there can be many multiple Shiksha Gurus. Multiple monitors can be there. Who is monitoring the studies. Shiksha Guru only can be one. Shiksha Guru cannot be 2 or 3. It can be one. Who has the right to scold you? And to whom you have given yourself. Sometimes Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru becomes the same person. In those times, it was the same person. Shiksha Guru comes as an instrument of Diksha Guru. So here, hearing process, this hearing process refers to transformation of the heart, not information, no transformation. There is no transformation, then what is the use of information? Because now it's a media world. In those days, to gain the knowledge, people used to run and come from different places. Now everything is available very easily. You on a Desire Tree, you on some ISKCON, this medias. You will have so many people speaking on so many subjects. Immediately you like a subject, you start writing the notes on that subject. So that is okay at one level, but that hearing is not going to bind Krishna within the heart. Again, every hearing is not at that level of binding Krishna in the heart. One hearing is to get information, so that I also know something about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever. The hearing which transforms our heart, how it transforms? By service. If we don't serve, no hearing is going to transform us. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. The sevaya word is very important. We ask doubts in the class, isn't it? But till we don't serve, then how to serve? That is why we have to choose whom to serve, how to serve, and only by serving we can transform our heart. Here also it has been given, by hearing one can go back home, back to Godhead. Then it should happen that everybody who is hearing the class in different medias, everybody has to go back home, back to Godhead. It is this hearing is that level. Sanmukharitam, Jivanti Sanmukharitam, Bhavadiya Vartam, Sthane Sthita Shrutigatam. This verse was spoken, given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Kurma Brahmana, who told, I will give up everything and come along with you. Lord told, no. In Kurma Kshetra, which is near Jagannath Puri, which is actually in the border of Andhra, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, Kurma Brahmana wanted to come along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, wherever you are, Sthani Sita Shrutikata, wherever you are there, you just have the desire to hear and serve the devotee. Bas. If this is there, then we can bind Krishna within the heart. Because you are going back home to Godhead is there. No? Sometimes we can have a pride. I attend every day Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavatam class. So now I am best qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. Yes, qualification is given, but not that we are really having that now, yes, certified. Yes, now you are going to go back. Qualification, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is trying to give. Paraphernalia, Krishna is trying to give through acharyas. Again, we have to understand all these things very deeply also. Because transcend the path of birth and death has been given. So I attend every Sunday classes. Now, perfectly, I'm going to go back home, back to God. Hearing is there, Yes, at the same time, hearing, service, complete surrenderance, and having that one-pointed attention towards Krishna. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurvanta, one-pointed attention to Krishna. Then that person can transcend the birth and death cycle. This one-pointed attention is also very much important. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyoga tatviti maratarshava. Now, yat, yavat, whatever, sanjayate, comes into being, kinchit, anything, sattvam, existence, thavara, not moving, jangama, moving, kshetra of the body, kshetrakya, the lower of the body, samyoga, by the union between, tadvidhi, you must know it, bharatarshava, O chief of the Bharata. So, Lord tells, O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, moving, non-moving, that is the human body, animal body, plant body, non-moving, it is a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. So what you should see? You should see Paramatma in everyone's heart. Knower of the field is not that soul which is in the dog's body. We are not speaking about the soul which is in the dog's body, because in the dog's body, he doesn't know the difference between body and soul. Even in the human body also, many of them, what? Most of them. Only a little few know the difference between body and soul. We are too much in body consciousness, isn't it? So too much in body consciousness. One who knows the difference between body and soul, that person becomes a knower of the field. But one person is there who knows everything, that soul is knower of the field. But one person by default is the knower of the field, that is Paramatma. That means seeing Paramatma in everyone's heart. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Pandita Samadarshana. 5th chapter, last verse speaks about it. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. When you have knowledge, you become more humble. Knowledge should make a person humble. When he becomes humble, then what happens? He sees Paramatma residing in everyone's heart. He knows the basic difference of the soul and the body. Generally, we find humility before gaining knowledge. After gaining knowledge, we think that we know everything. That is a problem. The more we know, the more humble we become. डाली पे अगर फल है, वो डाली झुकता है. Vidya Vinaya. If Vidya is not giving us Vinayata, then that Vidya is useless. If our Vidya is giving us humility, and what is the meaning of humility? Tuladapi sunichena tarorapi saishna amanina amanadena kirtaniya sadaha. If that humility is giving us, if the Vidya is giving us humility, then yes. Then what happens with that Vidya? I can see Paramatma residing in everyone's heart. At the same time, whatever the other person does to me, it is because of the influence of the 3 modes of material nature onto him. Somebody comes and praises you. Immediately you should think, I am not praiseworthy, but that person is praised because of the influence of the 3 modes. Whatever somebody comes and insults you, then you immediately should understand this mode is making that living entity come in its clutches. So only a very intelligent and a very great advanced devotees, only they have such type of vision. It's not I get 100 out of 100 in Bhagavad Gita class. Chalo, now I have that vision. It's not so easy to get that vision. That is why devotion is a practice. How many janmas it is going to take, we don't know. Maybe within these janmas also, few of them can transcend. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, that as this verse speaks about that. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sthavara Sattvam, Sthavar, Jangir. Sattvam means existence. How these two are existing and who is the knower of the body. Okay, Aruna, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetragna sanyoga tadviddhi bharatarshava. O chief of Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. Purport. Both material nature and the living entity, which were existing before the creation of the cosmos, are explained in the verse. Whatever is created is but a combination of living entity and material nature. There are many manifestations like trees, mountains, and hills, which are not moving. And there are many existences which are moving, and all of them are but combination of material nature and the superior nature, the living entity. Without the touch of the superior nature, the living entity, nothing can grow. The relationship between the matter and the nature is eternally going on, and this combination is effected by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is the controller of both the superior and the inferior natures. The material nature is created by him, and the superior nature is placed in this material nature, and thus all these activities and manifestations take place. Hare Krishna.
So in mountain, when you see mountain, how to remember Krishna? Krishna as Brahman is present everywhere. So Brahman, Jada Brahman. Krishna's energy, Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, Para Brahman. Okay, next one. Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram Vinashyat Vinashyat Vinashyantam Yaha Pashyati Sapashyati Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishtantam Parameshwaram Vinashyantvasva Vinashyantam Yaha Pashyati Sapashyati. Samam, equally, Sarveshu, in all, Bhuteshu, living entities. Tishtantam, residing, Parameshwaram, the super soul, Vinashyitsu, in the destructible, Vinashyantam, not destroyed, Yaha, anyone who, Pashyati, Sapashyati, sees, he actually sees. So one who sees the super soul accompanying the individual and all in all the bodies, individual soul in all the bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. Now, why Krishna spoke these words to Arjuna? Because he was crying, oh, I am going to destroy my grandfather. I am going to kill so many. Krishna says, what are you seeing that? How come you are a Pandita? If you see 2.10, no, 2.11, what was that verse? 2.11. Ashochan anvashocastvam pragyavadamsha bhashase gatasu nagatasumshaha nanu shochanti panditaha. You're talking like a panditaha, but you're crying on those things which is not fit for lament, isn't it? Now here, yaha pashyati sa pashyati. That means you don't know to see, but see what to see. You have to see that Lord is present in everyone's heart. At the same time, there is an individual soul who is present in everyone's heart. In this body, though it is vinashyantihi, but these two are na vinashyanti. It is not, they are not going to be destroyed. Avinashyanti, avinashyanti. Though the body is destructible, vinashyanti, avnashyanti are these two. And Lord is equal to everyone. He is equal to everyone. He is accompanying individual soul in all the bodies. In the pig's body also, Krishna is accompanying the soul and makes the soul adjust to the body, whatever he's got. According to karmas, everybody gets their body. In every circumstances, Lord is making a person adjust. A person is suffering, not able to die also. There also Krishna is making the person adjust to that pain. You see, there are so many who are suffering, isn't it? Some suffer with cancer, some suffer with big diseases. Who is making that person adjust even to that suffering? So that is a time one should remember, it is super soul who is making that person. We say, बहुत विल पावर है उसको, जिंदा है, बहुत विल पावर है. What will power? What will and what power without Krishna giving the anumati? It is Krishna's mercy. Generally we praise that person, will power है इसलिए जी रहा है. It is Krishna's mercy who is allowing us to even fight at that circumstances. Struggle for existence. We have this word, struggle for existence. So that struggle, even the strength for struggling is also given by Krishna. So seeing that how Krishna doesn't leave the individual soul alone to suffer, Krishna gives that strength also. That is why when you ask a devotee, how are you? The answer should be Krishna's mercy. What it should be? Even the suffering is also Krishna's mercy. The strength to tolerate that suffering is also Krishna's mercy. If you have nice, wonderful days, Krishna's mercy. Again, to tolerate those wonderful days also is Krishna's mercy. That's why answer should be, आप कैसे हैं? ओ चंगा है. ओ चंगा बिंगा नहीं. What you should answer? Krishna's mercy. Learn to answer this. Then, ya pashyati sa pashyati. It's very much important. Sometimes you say, oh fine, so nice, everything wonderful, I'm just enjoying. It's only for a moment. All enjoyments are only momentary. What comes with us is only Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna comes, then only as super soul Krishna comes along with us. That is why we are able to adjust to every circumstance. Somebody insults us, ya pashyati sa pashyati. What is that? Nobody can insult the soul. Nobody can insult the super soul. Insult is only to the body, isn't it? So Krishna is trying to make us adjust to each and every circumstance. Every circumstances is a challenge. How you are able to take up the challenge? Because you know Krishna is adjusting me in every circumstances. So if we know that, or adjusting anyone in every circumstances, we would answer Krishna's mercy. So this answer should be Krishna's mercy, then ya pashyati sa pashyati. Pushpa Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam
It is not samam, it is samam.
Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva avinashyantam yah pashyati sa pashyati. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. Anyone who by good association can see three things combined together: the body, the proprietor of the body or individual soul, and the friend of the individual soul, is actually in knowledge. Unless one has the association of a real knower of spiritual subjects, one cannot see these three things. Those who do not have such association are ignorant. They simply see the body and they think that when the body is destroyed, everything is finished. But actually, it is not so. After the destruction of the body, both the soul and the super soul exist, and they go on eternally in many various moving and non moving forms. The Sanskrit word Parameshwara is sometimes translated as the individual soul, because the soul is the master of the body, and after the destruction of the body, he transfers to another form. In that way, he is master. but there are others who interpret this Parameshwara to be the super soul. In either case, both the super soul and the individual soul continue. They are not destroyed. One who can see in this way can actually see what is happening. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. One minute. Next verse. समं पश्यति सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरं न हि नस्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम् समं पश्यति सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरं न हि नस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम् समं equally पश्यन् seeing he certainly सर्वत्र everywhere samavasthitam equally situated Ishwaram, the super soul, no, does not. Hinasti, degrade, Atmanaha, by the mind. Atmanam, the soul, Tataha, then. Yati reaches, Param, the transcendental Gati, destination. One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere, in every living entity, does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. So he sees Lord seated in everyone's heart. He knows that Lord accompanies the soul in different species also. So in this way, he knows that two, that is super soul and the individual soul, are indestructible. And he is seeing that how Krishna is equally present. That means even when a soul is suffering in a particular body, he sees mercy of Krishna in that. Somebody is suffering. Immediately he doesn't blame Krishna. It is his karmas which make him suffer. Everybody suffers or enjoys whatever according to their karmas. So he can see that how Krishna is equally disposed and how Krishna plans for every living entity. Only this vision is there for the devotees. Devotees should have this vision that how Krishna plans for every living entity. Sometimes we think, इसने क्या पाप कर दिया? इतना क्यों भुगत रहा है? I am not able to see his papa. We only go to present Janma. In the previous Janma, what he has done, we don't know. That is why we should know that whatever suffering, whatever enjoyment a person is getting, it's only according to his karma. But somehow, Krishna is equally disposed to everyone. If some punishment is given, wonderful. That is also Krishna's mercy. Some award is also given, that is also wonderful. I am ayogya, but still Krishna gives. So in this way, seeing Lord in everyone's heart, seeing the hand of Krishna everywhere, then he doesn't degrade with his mind. Sometimes our mind degrades us. We think a lot, isn't it? Crooked thought comes. Our degradation happens because of our mind. It is said mind is our friend, mind is our enemy. So many thought processes come at the level of mind. So degradation happens at the level of mind, but at the level of mind, if we see it is Krishna's mercy, Krishna is present everywhere, then one will not degrade. Okay, Aditya, read.
Hare Krishna. Samam pashyanti sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram na hinastya atmanam tato yati param gatim.
Na hinastyatma. Na hinastyat.
Na hinastyatma.
Natmanam.
Na hinastyatma atmanam tato yati param gatim.
Na hinastyatmanatmanam. Continuous you have to tell. Or if you do hinasti atmanaha atmanam, then there is gadbad there. Na hinastyatmana atmanam. The technical words this is.
न हिनस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Read.
Translation: one who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches the transcendental destination. Purport: the living entity, by accepting his material existence, has become situated differently than in his spiritual existence. But if one understands that the Supreme is situated in his Paramatma manifestation everywhere, that is, if one can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every living thing, he does not degrade himself by a destructive mentality, and he therefore gradually advances to the spiritual world. The mind is generally addicted to sense gratifying processes, but when the mind turns to the super soul, one becomes advanced in spiritual understanding. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकरातरिं स पश्यति. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकतरिं यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. प्रकृत्यैव, by material nature. This is the last verse we'll take today. Throat is not good. Prakriti, by material nature, eva certainly, cha also, karmani, activities, kriyamanani, being performed, sarvashah, in all respects, yaha, anyone who, pashyati, sees, tatha also, atmanam, himself, akartaram, the non-doer, saha, he, pashyati, sees perfectly. So now, one who sees, prakriti eva cha karmani, one who sees that all activities are performed by the body. How it is created? Because of the material nature. And sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. Actually, self does not do anything. At the level of soul, it's only desire. Activities are done by the body. At the level of soul, the soul is a doer only till it desires. I want to drink a cigarette. Desire. Who did? The body does. Who permitted? Lord permitted. Well, so what type of Lord? Why is he permitting all wrong things? Soul desires. The free will has been given to every individual soul. There is individual soul, there is super soul. At the level of individual soul, it is desire. At the level of super soul, it is permission. At the level of body, it is action. Three are doers, at the same time, three are non-doers. Soul has nothing to do. Body, anyhow, is dead matter. And Lord, again, what he has to do with the material work is super divine. Soul is super divine. And then body, anyhow, is dead matter. Three are non-doers, at the same time, three are doers. Okay, Harish Chaitanya, I think he's also in the listening mode. Pushpa Mataji, read. Read.
29th verse, no, Mataji?
30th verse.
Okay. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वश यः पश्यति तहात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body which is created of material nature and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. This body is made by material nature under the direction of the super soul, and whatever activities are going on in respect to one's body are not his doing. Whatever one is supposed to do, either for happiness or for distress, one is forced to do because of the bodily constitution. The self, however, is outside all these bodily activities. The body is given according to one's past desires. To fulfill desires, one is given the body, with which he acts accordingly. Practically speaking, the body is a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to fulfill desires. Because of desires, one is put into difficult circumstances to suffer or to enjoy. This transcendental vision of the living entity, when developed, makes one separate from bodily activities. One who has such a vision is an actual seer. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, he is an actual seer. Now, yaha pashyati, sa pashyati, 3 times have been given. Right, it started from 28. Who is the seer? Who knows that body is anyhow destructible, soul and super soul are non-destructible. Then, who is the seer? Who sees that super soul is residing in everyone's heart? Then, who is a seer? Who sees that the activities are actually performed by the body? Soul and super soul has nothing to do. So anyhow, the self, you can say the soul, the super soul have nothing to do. Only at the level of desire, the soul functions. The level of permission, the super soul functions. And at the level of action, the body does. Okay. 31st onwards, we will do. How many verses are there? Just one, not two. Let us finish this. Yada bhuta pruthak bhavam. Yatha bhuta pruthak bhavam. Ekastham anupashyati. Tata eva cha vistaram. Brahma sampadhyate tada. So yata, when bhuta, living entity, pruthak bhavam, separated identities, ekastham, situated in one, anupashyati, one tries to see through authority, tata eva, thereafter, cha also, vistaram, expansion, Brahma, the absolute, sampadhyate, he attains tada at that time. So when a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, he sees how beings are expanded everywhere. He attains to the Brahman conception. He stops seeing different identities due to different material bodies. So what is the meaning of this? How the living entities are expanded everywhere. That means he is not seeing the living entities separate from Krishna. That means he sees that how living entities are part and parcels of Krishna. Every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. It is not that identifying a living entity with the body. He is my grandfather. That is grandfather's body. It seems to be your grandfather's body. Today I was seeing my father. He has attained today the 89th year birthday. I was just thinking, today I am seeing him, maybe after some time I may not see him. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing the body actually. To whom am I attached? Because I like my father so much. So I was just trying to contemplate. Actually, I'm attached to whom? The soul or to the body? It's actually the body. We take care of whom? We're taking care of the body actually. The soul anyhow is indestructible. Who am I to take care of the soul? It is the super soul who takes care of the soul. Sometimes we take care of people so much, isn't it? That without me, nothing can happen. But actually, it is super soul who is taking care of the soul, trying to make that soul adjust to all the circumstances. What we can take care is only to the bodily level, first, not more than that. So this is what is given. Don't identify the soul with that particular body. वो मेरी चाची मर गई, चाची का शरीर गया. Whom you call chachi, that soul will never die. Isn't it? This is a very deep understanding. This is a very important aspect. When a sensible man ceases, stops to see different identities due to different material bodies. ये मेरा भाई है, और ये मेरी बहन है, ये मेरी माँ है. So we identify, isn't it? मेरे भाई को ऐसा बोला, मैं अभी मैं बदला लूंगी. और मेरी बहन को ऐसे बोला, हाँ मेरी माँ को ऐसे बोला. That is what we are trying to identify, the soul with that body. Then how can we call ourselves intelligent? Actually, Krishna expands his energy, Jiva Brahman, in different bodies. It is Krishna who takes care. We should have that complete faith. I am not alone. No one is alone. Day before yesterday, I don't know, first time I don't preach in my house. Nobody hears. You can only preach to outsiders. You cannot preach in your house. So my mother was talking to me. Your sister is also going. Who is there to take care of us? You will be also going to Nagpur. I told Mummy, even if we both are there, it is neither me nor my sister who is going to take care of you. Ultimately, it is Lord who takes care of you. He comes in different forms, or He inspires different people to take care of you. He may inspire me, He may inspire my sister, He may inspire anyone. If you are bound to be protected by Krishna, He will inspire anyone to take care of you. Sometimes somebody else will come and help you. You may think your daughter is going to come, or your son is going to come. Some neighbor or some outsider whom you don't know, that person will come and help you. If you are destined to be protected, then Krishna will send somebody. If you are destined to be destroyed, even though all will be there present before you, you will be destroyed. First time I spoke, my mother was hearing very nicely. She said, what you said is very right. I said, because both old people, they are staying alone. 89, 86 years. So in between like this, something I tell, then she gives the strength. Then she was chanting nicely, Om Namo Narayana. I said, very good, chant nicely. It is Lord who protects. Nobody can protect anyone. Sometimes we think I am the protector. No. We are not the protectors. It is Super Soul who protects the soul. We, out of some social circumstances or society, we are in society, what people may think. So we are doing. All natak we are doing. Actually, what we are doing is a drama. A big drama of considering ourselves to be a protector. And this is the verse. That is the 13th chapter, most important chapter. Kshetra Kshetragyaha Vibhaga Yoga. Understanding Kshetragya. There are two souls. One is individual soul, one is super soul. Individual soul, super soul are never destroyed. Individual soul is always protected by the super soul. Super soul accompanies the individual soul in every circumstances. Okay. Goloka, read. I like to chant your name, Goloka. Read.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yada bhuta pratak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Purport. When one can see that the various bodies of living entities arise due to the different desires of the individual soul and do not actually belong to the soul itself, one actually sees. In the material conception of life, we find someone a demigod, someone a human being, a dog, a cat, etc. This is material vision, not actual vision. This material differentiation is due to a material conception of life. After the destruction of the material body, The spirit soul is one. The spirit soul, due to the contact with material nature, gets different types of bodies. When one can see this, he attains spiritual vision, thus being freed from differentiations like man, animal, big, low, etc. One becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. How he then sees things will be explained in the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Last verse. Anaditva triguna Trirgu Triguna is yeah. Anaditva Nirgunatvat Nirgunatvat Paramatmayam Avyayah Sharirasthopi Kaunteya Na Karoti Na Lipyate. This because of this light now, my eyes are not able to see properly. So more verses are there. I told this is the last verse. We can end here also. Okay. Anaditvan nirgunatvat paramatmayam avyayah sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Goes with the vision of eternity. Anaditvat, due to eternity. Nirgunatvat, due to being transcendental. Parama, beyond material nature. Atma, spirit. I am this. Avyaha, inexhaustible. Sharirastha, dwelling in the body. Apido, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Na karoti, never does anything. Na lipyate, nor is he entangled. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. That is why I am not the doer. If we consider I am the doer, I am only doing everything, then we are entangled. Our entanglement is because of our wrong identification. It is I who take care. It is I who does everything. It is I who am earning. That is why when Ramanujacharya went to Trikushtinambi, when from inside for taking initiation, there was a question asked, who are you? Ramanujacharya told, I, Ramanuja. Told, come after I am dead. He couldn't understand Ramanuja. And here Ramanuja is Adi Guru, but he wants to show. So in the 17th time he says, I, Adiyan of Lord, have come. I am the servant of Lord. The moment I consider I am the doer, there itself I am gone. So it is said here that I am eternal. The vision of eternity should be there. I am imperishable, I am eternal, I am transcendental, I am beyond the modes of material nature. But just because I have come in contact with this body, Paropi Manute Anartham, though I am Parashakti of Krishna, I have taken identification with this Aparashakti of Krishna and whatever related to this Aparashakti. Aparashakti is Jada Brahman, inferior energy of Krishna. Superior energy of Krishna is the soul, but comes in Tathastha Shakti because most of the time we identify ourselves with the body-related people. Okay, Aruna, read. Aditya can read the words, Aruna can read the translation. So both of them can do.
Hare Krishna. Anaditvan nirgunatvat Anaditvan nirgunatvat Paramatmyam avyayah sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Translation. Aruna will read, right? Okay. Translate. Those with the vision of Those
Yes.
with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Okay. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material bodies do not entangle him. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any doubts in this, you can ask. We started with the 25th verse, right? 85, 26, 28, 29, 30,
Yes,
31,
Mataji.
32. 8 verses we did today. Okay. Any doubts? Stop here. Vanchakripadavyashta pasindu devcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavi namo namo vaishnava. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.